friends, cheers! I'm drinking my favorite coffee. It is an Almond Joy coffee bean with almond milk and cinnamon. It's my favorite. So, cheers! Okay, so here's the deal. I'm an artist. It's gotta be scratched, the creative itch. It's just perpetually back there needing to be taken care of. And sometimes that comes out in writing. Sometimes it comes out in making up songs on my guitar. Sometimes it comes out in my sketchbook and drawing characters and things like that. And sometimes it comes out in painting. And today is the painting day. I'm really excited. I'm also expecting the maintenance guy to come today to fix my bathtub, and I'm like low-key intimidated by him. Okay, we're good. Anyways, today is painting day, and I'm also going to be reading a little bit later on. And the book that I've been working on right now is The Help by Catherine Stockett, and I have loved this book. This has been like one of my favorite books ever, and I can't put it down. The characters, the voice, the story is just super, super compelling and beautiful and interesting, and the way she writes is amazing. I was just telling my sister, I've never read a book where I noticed like background sounds happening in a scene so much as I do in this book. There's a scene where she's peeling tomatoes and you can hear the tomato peels like plunk plunk into the sink, or like a ceiling fan in a reporter room. It gives like your imagination so much ammo to like paint the scene in a more rich color in your mind. I loved it. So I'm gonna be reading this and then I'm going to write, just like freestyle write for a while. I want to be a writer. That's my life dream. I realized if I ever want to write a book, I have to be writing every day. And that's something I'm actually really bad at, and I want to get better at that. So that's the goal for today. Paint, write, and read. And just like let the creative part of my mind have fun, because I think that's something that I often don't prioritize, and I wish I did. I want to do that more, so I'm really excited. That's gonna be super fun. So I'm gonna find a good autumn playlist, and we're gonna have so much fun. Let's have a fun art day together. Cheers, friends. thickens in the help. This is such a good book. I am loving it so much. I'm on chapter 16 now. I just love the characters so much. They are so real and believable, and it's just, you want them to win so bad. Like, I've seen the movie, so I know how it ends. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this book so much. But I was thinking about it earlier, like, I think in high school, I used to feel so insecure about my reading tastes. And this, honestly, like, Reading the Help is not a super wonderful example of this, because this is like a, I don't know, it's a historical fiction meant for adults, I guess. But my favorite genre is middle grade fiction, which is like 8 to 12-year-old age range, middle school. That can cover a lot of different things. It can cover like chapter books, novels, even like some like graphic novels, like comic book style. I've even gotten into that recently. And I was thinking about it this morning. Like, I used to feel so like embarrassed that that was my favorite genre. When I would go to the library, I remember being a teenager, and like my like genre for my age range was supposed to be young adult at that point, and I was supposed to go up the stairs of the library to the young adult section, and I remember like just not enjoying those books as much. And even still, like, there's some really good ones, but like for the most part, I feel like they're just oftentimes filled with a lot of things that I don't love. I don't want in my head. There's a lot of unnecessary, like, bad things. I just don't like that. And I love how middle grade you have less of that. Now, in this day and age, you are getting more of that, which is heartbreaking to me, and really drives me as an aspiring writer to write amazing, good stories that have characters that are admirable and characters who grow in the midst of the story, even if they don't start that way. But yeah, I remember in high school, I was homeschooled all growing up, and I loved being homeschooled. I was never embarrassed of being homeschooled, because it was something that was so great for me growing up, and just the way that I learned. It was very like self-driven, and my mom was my teacher for most of that, and so my mom really gave me a love of learning and a love of reading. But I think just being a person, like, everybody has insecurities, and I remember being really insecure back in the day that I didn't know as much as like my public school friends or my private school friends. And looking back now, I see like that seems so silly to me, because I don't think that the gap was actually that big in reality. And I also look back and think, wow, like, that's sad. I gave that insecurity so much space in my mind. Like, I gave that insecurity so much power over me to make me feel like I was like less than the kids around me because of something I was worried about that wasn't even true. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, that's so funny, because I'm sure that that same kind of a thing where I'm insecure and let that insecurity reign my life, I see that even now in my adult life. It's not about my knowledge anymore with like school topics or books or anything like that. Now I'm like totally like proud of loving middle school aged books. I just think they're so beautiful. Everybody who knows me knows like middle grade is my jam. Like, I love it. But that same kind of insecurity still pops up and rears its ugly head in other areas of my life. Like in feeling like being a wife, being a stay-at-home wife, am I doing enough? Like, am I using my time wisely? Which is a good question to ask, but it's also bad when I start assigning my worth to that and being like, oh, like, I am less than my friends who are working right now because I don't have a job right now. I'm at home, and I do the laundry, and I cook, and I clean, and I read, and there's things I'm working on, passion projects and things I'm working towards, and I'm doing things, but like, I just have this insecurity that I'm not doing enough sometimes, and honestly, all the time, if I'm being really honest. And it just made me think, maybe that is silly. Maybe this insecurity now is something that like 10 years from now, I'll look back and be like, why did I give that so much weight in my life? Like, if I was talking to my high school self, I'd be like, dude, like, read what you love and like develop that love of learning, and recognize that like your worth doesn't come from what you know. Like, your worth is totally rooted in the fact that God made you in his image, and he thinks that you are worth dying for. Like, God himself died for you to give you peace with God, to forgive your sins, and like, that confidence I wish would have fueled my interactions with other people then. And I think I'm making this video for myself, honestly. Like that's what I want to fuel getting out of this insecurity that I deal with now in my adult life. So I don't know, that's just some thoughts I've been thinking about as I'm reading lately, because I realized today I used to pick up these horrible, big, boring books on topics I didn't care about. It's apparently about the personal letters of the Churchills. So coming back here to this channel in about 3 years, and I'll be well versed in this stuff. I am just not a nonfiction girl. There may be a couple books that I enjoy that have been nonfiction, but it's hard to get through them for me. But I love fiction and I love children's literature, and I think that's a good thing. So anyways, interesting to look back on just growth over my life, you know? Makes me curious, like in a couple years, what I'll think about this video, I don't know, or this season of my life. So I'm curious, is there a way that you feel like you've grown since high school or since the past couple of years? Think about it. Like, let me know in the comments, like, what's some way that you've changed, or some way that you have overcome something that used to be a big obstacle and now just seems kind of silly to you. Do you know what I'm saying? I like thinking about growth. It's encouraging. So let me know the ways that you feel like you've grown recently in the comments. So I am going to set a timer and read for 30 more minutes, and then I'll show you my painting when it's dry.
No, I was just texting Connie. They invited me over tomorrow evening. Everybody's buying me food right now. Okay, I'll put it on a calendar and I'll see you then.
Okay, perfect.
Would you rather go somewhere?
No, I'd love to cook for you. I love doing it.
Well, I love it when you do it for me too.
Yeah, if you don't mind eating it.
I love it. You're a good cook. Oh, and by the way, you getting your license Friday?
Yeah, I'm supposed to.
All right, I'm in prayer all day. I'm in prayer. I'm in prayer all day.
Yeah, I'll send you.
It's gotta be gold this time. It has to be gold this time.
It's third time's a charm. I'll send you a picture if it all goes through.
It's bound to, unless they have another system failure.
I know, yeah. We'll see. Hope you have a good time with Connie and Bernie tomorrow.
Yeah, he wanted me to come over at 6 o'clock. He don't cook steaks, so.
Oh, nice.
I haven't had a steak in, shoot, I bet it's been a year since I've had a steak, so. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I told him I'd bring my good set of teeth, so. Well, you tell Josh I said hi, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I'll got it right on my calendar now. That'll be a really good time.
All right, I love you, honey.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so my painting session was really fun. It was different than I usually do. I usually do landscapes when I paint with gouache, but, you know, the abstract idea that I had in my head looks different than this does, but I still like it. It's just different than what I would normally do. It kind of looks like a solar system, or like planets. So that's what it was today. I think honestly my favorite part of painting today was not even the painting, but I loved the little jars that I saved. They were from like pimentos and a jar of applesauce that I had, and I was like, these would make perfect watercolor like painting dishes, you know what I mean? And they did. They were perfect. And when I was using like the really deep blue colors and then like the indigos and stuff, it would just like dye the water, and I just loved it. It was beautiful. So I think that experience was even more fun than the painting in some regards. It was a good time, so I'm glad I painted today. And I just got a notification on my phone that I have a package in the mailbox, and I'm so excited because that package is actually the final book in the Peter and the Starcatcher series. I started reading them 3 or 4 years ago now, and they are just really amazing books. They're a middle grade book series, like 400 pages long, and they're about the backstory of how Peter Pan became Peter Pan. And when I was a kid, my babysitter actually recommended them to me. She had the whole series, and she would like loan them to the kids she babysat. And I remember thinking that was so cool that she trusted the kids she babysat to read and take care and enjoy her books and then give them back to her. I loved so many things about her, but one of the most memorable things that I remember She would bring a book every time she came to babysit me and my siblings, and after we all went to bed, she would sit in our recliner in the living room and she would read until my parents got home. And I think it was just such a sweet, peaceful feeling for me as a kid, just like knowing that like our babysitter was up and reading and like enjoying a good story. Like, it sounds weird to verbalize, but as a kid I remember I liked that she read. Like, I thought that was cool that she brought a book and she read. She didn't like watch a movie or text her friends or anything like that. She brought a book every time and read until my parents got home. And a lot of times she would be reading Peter and the Starcatchers. So I read the first 3 books this year, and now I have the last one ready in the mailbox. I just have to tell you guys, I got a steal for this book. You can find it online pretty easily in the paperback version, but I'm specifically collecting the hardbacks, and I don't usually do that with books, but with this book series, I do. I'll just show you, hold on. Okay, so Peter and the Starcatchers, the first one. This was the one that my cousin gave me for Christmas, and I realized she actually found a signed copy. That's pretty cool, and so this is the one that started it all. And then we moved on to Peter and the Shadow Thieves, and then we moved on to Peter and the Secret of Rundoon, and now we're moving on to Peter and the Sword of Mercy. But, like I said, paperback, easy to find on the internet. Hardback, a little bit more difficult to find, especially at a reasonable price. The only place that I could find it hardback for a while was a copy on Amazon that was literally $35, and it was like, that's like the equivalent of like 3 new books at Barnes & Noble or a bunch of books on Pengo Books, which is my favorite like thrift store used book app, which is amazing if you've never heard of it. I'll link it below. I waited and waited and waited, moved on to other books, but this week I was like, you know, I really should look again and see if it's there, because I want to have this complete, you know, hardback book series of my favorite books. And I found it on eBay, and I paid $6, you guys, $6 for the book hardback, and that was including shipping. And I'm like, dude, this is great. I knew, do not spend $35 on the Amazon craziness. No, eBay this time really came through. It's in the mailbox. I'm gonna go get it, and I'll take you with me. We'll get to enjoy opening it together. Here it is. Look how beautiful these covers are. They've got this like shimmery font on all of them, and each one of them has glitter accents. This is a library binding, and I'm thinking I can figure out how to take it off. But yeah, this is a pretty good copy for $6. The pages are like this decal edge, which I really love. Especially like this book has to do a lot with pirates, and so somehow the deckled edge pages as you're reading it just feels really, I don't know, it feels like you found a treasure map or something like that. And I really enjoyed that feeling when you read it. I'm so glad it came. And now, check this out. This series is complete. Okay, if you watched this far in the video, you saw that my maintenance guy came and scared me pretty good. Yeah, I don't know why I always feel so nervous. He was a very nice man. I really had nothing to be worried about. So thank you to the very kind maintenance man at my apartment. I wrote for a little while, like a really short story slash almost poem. I'm actually writing it about one of my former neighbors here at this apartment. I've never written anything like this before. It's been really fun. I wanted to show you, I was able to take off the library binding off of this book, and it was so easy. And I wanted to show you how I did it because I feel like it's a very practical tip to know how to do when you like reading and you're going to be buying a lot of used books. I'll link the tutorial I used below because it's very helpful, but basically I just like took a knife and slowly, carefully sliced the inside, like this part. This one was actually glued, so usually I think sometimes it's taped, which is better for the book. The plastic came off, and then there was a little sticker right here, and I was able to get that off by like very meticulously peeling at it. And then I also used some lemon essential oil dropped on a paper towel, and I was just careful not to do too much to make the paper weakened with the liquid, but it worked really well. And it's also shinier outside of the library binding, so that was really exciting. I cannot wait to read that. It's gonna be really good. Thank you so much for joining me on my day today and for watching the whole of this video. You are so kind to do that. I hope that you had fun. I hope you feel artistically inspired, or you just feel like you want to go pick up a good book and do the things that you've been longing to do, the things you've been dreaming about. That was what today was for me, and I had a really great time, and I feel very creatively recharged and ready for tomorrow's responsibilities and the hard work that tomorrow will bring. I feel really creatively, you know what I mean? It's a really good feeling. So I'm really excited for the rest of this week. In other news, Josh is out coaching baseball until later on, so I'm probably going to make dinner here soon, and then I might bake some banana muffins. It's gonna be a fun girls' night tonight. I might call my sister and do that while I bake. So yeah, I had a great time with you guys today, and I hope that you guys had as much fun as I did with you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, peace out, Girl Scout. Have a great day.